Who's first?
Hello, hello, hello. You have to do that. We are here.
Is that your man voice?
Yes.
You've got a man voice.
Don't you have a woman voice? To express your female
I
side.
can't do it. Hello, my female. No, it doesn't sound like a female voice at all. It sounds like a mouse trapped under a door.
So somebody squished your man voice.
My man voice has been assaulted. Oh my God!
Yes,
No! Don't assault me.
No, hello. Here we are again. This beautiful sunlit recording studio. I love calling it a recording studio.
Recording studio.
It sounds so professional.
A lot of things are recorded here.
Yes.
It's half true.
Yes.
It's a half truth.
Yes.
It's a half truth. I'm not happy with the view across the balcony today because there's a giant piece of string hanging down.
I've noticed it.
Where once was a pumpkin.
It's like a tribute to the deceased pumpkin.
No, it just looks untidy, basically.
Well, why did you leave it there?
People can't see what's not there.
Why did you leave it there? When you took the pumpkin off, you could have just
because I was in a
taken the string
rush
off.
this morning to do things, and I had a moment, and I thought I'm going to remove the pumpkin because no one else is going to do it, and it looks ugly, and because after 3 or 4 days of being out on the balcony,
it kind of shrivels.
It kind of shrivels.
Yeah.
Kind of shrivels much of a muchness into nothingness. Yeah.
I threw it out in the trash can today.
Well, that's your first warning. Okay, you got 3 warnings as usual.
It's just cruel. He can't help fidgeting. I told you.
He can fidget. He can fidget as much as he wants, as long as he doesn't make a noise when he's doing it. I don't care if he fidgets with his fingers or scratches himself under the arm or tries to bite a toe off or something. I don't.
Well, can you not make a sound when you're fidgeting?
Well, it's just that he decided to scrape a balloon across the floor with his feet. I mean, that's
The kids don't think. They don't think. Especially when they're watching a movie.
Kids don't think.
Kids don't think about those things.
Well, they think. They just are not aware. That was a slow sentence. You're right there. What have you done? What have you done over there, Jazz? Have you untangled?
Oh, she made a picture with a string cheese.
Oh, excellent. Can't see
Well done.
Really, but,
it's kind of a twisty tangle.
Oh, good. See what else you can make with it. Maybe you can make some food out of it and eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's
great. Can you eat your picture now?
She's making letters.
That's great.
I'm just going to have to stand here and continually adjust the contrast as the sun hops in and out between clouds.
Good. That's your job. Do that.
Yeah.
So what's new today?
She said, I think we should get some candles for the balcony.
What do you mean?
And hang stuff.
Get some candles
I'll
for the
tell you what's new today.
Hang stuff,
I'll tell you what's
like
new today.
Sausages. Or bacon.
You want to hang bacon on the balcony?
You probably would get eaten by the neighbors.
Find people with long hooks trying to unhook it from the balcony.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what's not new. I was right again.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I was right again. Oh, the workmen downstairs will be finished their work by November. Wrong. I told you that's absolute. I told you that was just a bullshit lie to pacify people, and it is a bullshit lie to pacify people once again. I don't know.
How do you know it was the workmen downstairs?
Because I have been monitoring the sounds that they make, and it's been the same sounds constantly. The sounds haven't changed at all. So that's how I know it's the workmen downstairs, unless someone's trying to copy the workmen downstairs by making exactly the same noises as them, which would be ridiculous.
Well, no, but it's possible that somebody somewhere completely different needed to drill holes in their wall today. Yeah.
And
not possible.
Every day for the last
it was not
3 months.
It was not every day. Now you're exaggerating massively.
I'm not
we
exaggerating.
had like 2 weeks of no noise whatsoever.
That's bull. That's absolute bull. I have heard every 48 hours. I have heard workmen working.
You just contradicted yourself. First you said every day, and then you said every 48 hours. That's not every day.
Okay, you're absolutely right. That's not every day, because there have been other noises from other people as well. So at least, and the reason why I said 48 hours, because I know that they've been quiet at the weekends in general. Yeah, they've left the weekends relatively peaceful for the people who live in the block. There have been
about 2 weeks when there's been almost no noise at all. And now,
wait. Almost no noise is not no noise.
Almost no noise.
No,
maybe
I don't even know what that is.
Week.
When someone says almost, that's like no.
Maybe there'd be
right?
like 15 minutes of noise, like once.
Did you get it? Almost. That means no.
And then.
Did you win? Almost. That means
last week, last few days, maybe last 4 or 5 days, there has been noise coming out of that place.
All right. Almost. That means no. Sorry. What?
So you're not listening to me. Well, how can I have a conversation with you if you're not listening to me and you're just ranting to yourself?
Talk to the people out there on the internet. They are listening to you. They probably listen to you more than they listen to me.
I'm trying to have a conversation here, and he just goes yappy, yappy, yappy,
yappy. Welcome to the Practical Parenting Podcast. I'm the yappy chap, and this is the
reasonable woman.
That's one of those, like, where those two words just can't possibly.
You mean the word oxymoron?
Yeah, that's oxymoronic.
No, it's not. It's
not. A reasonable woman.
I don't know who's being oxymoronic.
She's a reasonable woman. Here. What does that mean? Well, she doesn't
exist.
Throw knives at you or something.
No.
She doesn't paint targets on your clothes. What? What?
Add up.
At? I believe there's a syllable missing there. Reasonable woman turned into monosyllabic woman.
You just riled me up right at the beginning.
Yeah. Why are you rubbing your crotch on the table?
What am I doing?
It's distracting me.
My crotch is distracting you. Get over it. It's a part of me. I don't give a
sugar lump. That was a good one, wasn't it?
About what's distracting you or not.
Yeah.
If my crotch is distracting, don't look.
Micro what? Anyway, never mind. Right.
My crotch.
Oh, wait a minute. You just laughed at your own joke again, didn't you?
I'm such a funny person.
I love it when you do that. Let me tell you something funny.
At least I know why you fell in love with me, right?
Right. It was the jokes. Try not to spit over the computer. Yeah. Swallow. Reflexes. Don't get your hand. You just punched my microphone. What? I'm scared. What are you waving your hands at me like a fireman or something?
I am, because you were talking to me and I almost spit the juice out of you.
Well, but first of all, you complained that I was ignoring you. Now 2 minutes later, you complained that I'm talking to you.
I didn't complain that you were ignoring me. I complained that you weren't listening to what I was saying in a conversation.
Oh, wait, because there's no difference between not listening and ignoring, is there?
Which is kind of essential in a conversation. That both parties listen.
Parties? Where are the parties? Where's the Scottish accent go? Parties? Where are the parties? I didn't see any parties. Oh my God. That was not Scottish at all, was it?
That was just drunk.
Jesus, madness and McSquirrel. Oh God, I can't do it at all. McSquizzy's not very happy about that.
Oh God! I was watching something on YouTube today. Wait a minute, what was it? Yeah, I watched the your stuff that you've put on in the masterclass. The stuff in the masterclass. The
I heard you the first time. The first time.
Sorry.
What?
Fortune.
It's a word. Okay.
What's the name of the guy in the movie?
What guy? In what movie? What are you talking about?
You don't even know what you sent out in the masterclass email.
What do you mean the guy?
The guy's name was Fortune.
Oh, was that his name?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't register.
Dark and somber guy with a personal tragedy.
Was that his name, Mr. Fortune?
Yes, his name is Fortune.
Or was that his first name or his second name?
And I don't know.
Because I didn't look at the names. I just looked at
first.
It's for English language learners. It's at a certain level. It's got subtitles. It's visually interesting. People will probably like it, and if they don't like it, they might give.
It was interesting. It was a very simple, very simple plot. Did the job anyway. So I was looking at this YouTube, right? Thing
you know, right? Right. There's a thing out there called Whitey.
And
oh no! YouTube is racist. YouTube is racist. You can't, because if you just use the letters, you get Whitey, which sounds like Whitey, which means it's racist. So YouTube is racist. We have to ban it. Oh my God.
So I was watching Whitey and a video popped up. You've got those stupid videos of from the X Factor, right? So from somewhere.
The X Factor, that's where people do stupid things on stage and people clap at them.
Yeah, from somewhere I got
I've never watched it, but I've heard about it.
I ended up watching the X Factor video. Don't ask
me. Wait. You were checking my email and that led you to an X Factor video.
Well, you know how things
Is that what I came through and I was asking you, have you checked it yet? And you're like, oh no, sorry, I got distracted.
No, that's what I was watching. Fortune number 6.
What, you watched them all?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, I couldn't stop. It was so interesting.
It was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
I'm cool. I said that's interesting. I haven't even watched all 6.
That was cool. Yeah, of course I kind of scroll. Fast
I added the extra film as well. You know the film.
Yeah.
The film.
We watched it.
Yeah. Somebody uploaded it, so I put a link to it. It's a great film.
Cool. Yeah. So I ended up watching this YouTube video. This X Factor video. It's like the funniest people on the X Factor, right?
Which is like, they're not actually.
All of them.
You mean fun? You don't mean like they do comedy routines? You mean they're just bad?
They're just really bad. But not just really bad, like painful bad, but actually quite funny bad, right? And there was this
They shouldn't allow that on TV.
Yeah, I know.
Ridiculously, these people will be destroyed for life because of these videos.
They're not going to be destroyed for life. There was this nice. I mean, I don't like the painful bad things, right? But there's this nice lady, and she was singing actually quite nicely. But she had such a strong accent that it was so funny because of her really, really strong accent. It's just, I don't even know why I'm saying that, but it was really funny. That was what I laughed at today.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody's accent, which is probably better than mine anyway.
Right, okay. Meanwhile,
do you like my story?
Yeah, it was
slightly anticlimactic.
It was. It kind of like
ruined the whole podcast. Okay.
Yeah. No. It was just like somebody let all the air out of the balloon. But,
yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah.
Hello, darling.
What?
Yeah, she's holding on to it so that she doesn't hit her head on the side of the table here.
So what's going on?
But she can't swing from it because.
So what's going on, baby?
A lot of damage, I think.
What's going on?
Hey, Jazzy, are you having a good day today? You want to come up here and join us?
Can I hold you up and pick you up?
You know the rules.
Yeah?
You know the rules. No playing with the mics.
I'll pick you up, but you have to not touch the mic. Okay.
There you go. Oh, look. Can you wave at the camera?
Did you just... No.
I thought she just peed on you.
No.
Remember to use the potty, Jesse.
I thought she pooped because I smelled something, but no, she didn't.
Did you? Oh, good. Well done. That only took you 15 minutes. You cannot go through 15 minutes of a podcast without mentioning the word.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of those things. Oh, is that comfortable for you? It looks nice and comfortable. Yes. Oh, you want to come here?
Be careful. She's
Oh
not.
no! Cables, mics.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a danger.
There you are.
There.
Say hi. Oh, she's trying to step on the table there.
Wave at the people out there. Have you got something you'd like to say to the world?
Would you like to say something?
No, she doesn't.
What are you watching there on the? What kind of movie are you watching there, Jasmine?
Oh, there's a movie on. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of the movie? Do you know? What's the name of the character of the boy?
I don't think she knows that.
No.
She knows.
It's Kubo.
Yet. Yeah. You're gonna go watch Kubo? I think you should.
Oh, you're gonna go back up.
Oh well. Usually she doesn't want to join us, but today is obviously.
Darling, I can't hold you that way. It's really uncomfortable. I can hold you this way. Is that okay?
She's gonna play with her hair and fall asleep like that.
Oh, great that you hold her. What's up?
Whenever I fall at your feet.
Oh.
So, I sense a bit of a disruption going on. That it's almost impossible for us to do anything. As the podcast has been taken over.
I'm scared to be a YouTuber.
Can you do that with your hand? Oh, check that out. Got those moves. Is that cool? Yeah. Do you want to do it again? Do. That's the A-Team soundtrack. I thought, like my childhood is burned into my brain.
I can see that.
Yeah, all of those pointless TV series or series, I never know what to call it. Ooh, flicker.
Jesse, do something else with your arms. How does a bird fly?
Can you put your hands together?
Can you flap your wings?
Like this. I can't believe I'm doing this. I just look like a broken dinosaur when I try to do it. Yeah, that's it. I can't do that.
Oh, she's kicking the table. I can't do anything about it.
She's kicking the cables is what she's kicking. Zora's giving me instructions on how to fly properly. Right.
So Jasmine, what's new today?
Do you want to go and play with this string? Would you like to take it away and play with it?
I'm sure Kubo would love the string.
Maybe you can tie up your brother with it. What do you think? She's kicking all the cables.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Can you not put her down?
I'm trying.
Darling, thank you very much for playing with us. I think.
Playing with the cables?
No, you can't have it either.
I want it.
What for?
Please, may I have it?
No.
I want a fidget.
You can't. Look, it's going to end up unraveled and tied around something it shouldn't be tied around.
I want to ravel it.
You can't ravel something which is not unraveled, I think. Is that a sentence? I'm not even sure. Right. You're confusing me.
So, I've just clapped my hands. That means let's do something.
You know that's neuro-linguistics.
Is it?
Yeah. Clapping the hands is a neuro-linguistic process.
Yeah?
Yes.
What have I just done?
Well, you either create a trance-like opportunity or you break the trance during that. If you've noticed that people doing martial arts use it a lot. If you notice that some...
I haven't noticed that.
You haven't noticed that. Okay.
How do people doing martial arts clap? What, like karate people clap?
Well, it's attention focus, right? And whenever you hear the noise, your brain focuses on the noise and not anything else, right? So if you look at the work of Darren Brown, yeah, in terms of mind programming, he uses it a lot, where he's trying to put an idea into someone's head, and he will use the clap as an opportunity to basically program the subconscious mind. If you clap and use a word at the same time, your subconscious mind has to make a choice, basically to focus on the word or the sound, and it focuses on the sound because the sound is a threat, because the brain is always in threat mode. It's always like a radar constantly scanning around for possible dangers and possible problems. And if you create an unusual noise or something that's unexpected, then the brain will instantly put that as a higher priority over everything else. And if you watch...
So what does it do with the word? I mean, why does it do it? I mean, why did you do it when you said the word head?
That was just as an example, because obviously I'm not going to neuro-linguistically program you here right now.
Well, you're going to wait until the evening, right, and do it later.
Okay, claps, clicks, and taps are all neuro-linguistic programming processes. If you have, I don't know who did that.
Something like that. Just bounced off of Will.
Yeah. For example, the Darren Brown has this program where I think he programs someone to believe in religion that the person doesn't believe in, but he programs them to believe that the religion is real. And he basically programs someone to find God, right? And what he does is he uses certain phrases.
Tap.
And
that's the toilet. That's the potty.
Mm-hmm.
Go use it.
So what he does is he uses certain phrases, and as he's talking, he's rapping his fingers on the table. And what this does is cause the mind to focus on the sound rather than the words, because there's a distraction there. What happens is the words pass your conscious, go into your subconscious, and cause you to make decisions that you're not aware about. Watch any of his videos. He does it constantly. It's very easily done.
It's a bit crazy.
But it's the way the mind works. The mind.
So if I'm at a job interview, right,
yeah,
and I'm talking to my future employer,
yeah,
and I start tapping on the table and say, so you're going to employ me because I'm super cool, he's more likely to employ me because I've just put it into his subconscious.
Well, you have to have a system, a pattern. You can't just do it randomly. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you mentioned the same phrase several times, if you wrapped your fingers, if you had another meeting with them, but wrapped your fingers in the same way, but didn't use words, the subconscious mind would pull those words out when you wrap your fingers because it would link the two things together.
Mm-hmm.
So these are ways that the mind works. You know how when people can be very easily programmed when they're not focused on you, when they're not focused on you. And when there's a noise, it affects the focus, and therefore a person can be more easy. You know how a person who's confused can be more easily persuaded of things? Think about it like that, right?
Like that supermarket experiment, right?
Okay, a person who's confused can be more easily persuaded to follow something or believe something or to buy something. Yeah. So what the brain always has to do is focus on what is the most important thing. And if the brain feels there's a threat in the environment, then what happens is it handles the threat first. The brain disregards the other information in the conscious mind, but it goes straight into the subconscious mind. Like you see Darren Brown going to people, giving people paper that they think is money. Why do they think the paper is money? It's just a white piece of paper, blank piece of paper, and he goes into a shop and pays with it. Yeah, and one of the techniques that he one of the techniques that he uses
Mhm.
is the it's not a clap, it's a bang. So that when he talks to someone, he bangs his hand on a table or the edge of something.
Mhm.
And what this does is the person's focusing on that, and at the same time, he's saying, "This is money." And it's pre-programming the subconscious mind to believe that what he's holding is actually money. It's very simply done.
I don't believe that's even possible. I mean, how does a person with a brain get fooled by that? I mean,
Okay, you've seen the underground. I use the underground experiment with my students to explain how it works. Right? The underground experiment is Darren Brown goes onto the underground, and he meets with passengers who are going. It couldn't be louder. He meets with passengers. She's dragging the potty across the floor to catch the cat that she's thrown across the floor. Anyway, he goes onto the underground, and
I think I'm going to
the insanity.
I'm going to empty. Hold the thought. I'm going to empty the potty.
What am I going to talk about? You can't start a theme and then. Oh, thank you very much for that very wise decision there. Right. I'm not. I'm going to talk about the psychology of the situation. The fact that words that we use to create language or logos are very symbolic. And in history, for example, the word grammar is a derivation of the word grimoire, which was the original book of black magic. So language itself is very magical, and people often underestimate the power of words. I mean, if you want to persuade somebody or change somebody's mind, you have to use words. If you want to use words properly and write them down, that is to spell a word. That is how we create words. We spell. So words in essence cast spells on people. So the experiment. Welcome back.
Here I am.
Jazz is looking like Fu Manchu with a stringy cheese hanging off the sides of her mouth. Yeah. So Darren Brown goes on to the easiest way to program people is in situations of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most common places, and people get confused when there's a lot of other people when things are moving fast around about them. So he goes on to the underground and he says, "Hi, hello, how are you?" Has a short conversation for about 10-15 seconds with the person, then asks them, "Where are you going?"
Mm-hmm.
Or which stop are you getting off at?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know, because it's taken him 15 seconds to remove that information from their brain using basic words. And it can be done by almost anybody, anywhere. Now it has to be planned and prepared, because there are structures within language that people need to understand. So Darren Brown goes up to people and he says, okay, so the bang is one of the neuro-linguistics. The snap or the clap or the click. Any environment where there's a snap or I'm not going to be able to explain this to you, am I?
Sorry.
Right. Any environment where there's a snap or a clap or a click is an environment for programming, basically. If you've noticed, motivational speaker Eric Thomas, when he's standing in front of people, he's always moving his shoulders and clapping his hands, moving his shoulders and clapping his hands. And the clapping is a neuro-linguistic technique to get people's focus. Yeah, it's very interesting. Works really well. It also helps put ideas into people's minds. So the claps, clicks, bangs. Now, we all know that if you're doing something that you don't want someone to see, you do something somewhere else to change the focus, right? The average information that appears on the television news is, in essence, just distraction and bullshit, right? Meanwhile, the real stuff that's going on never appears there. So there's a lot of this distraction which is happening. So so the second technique, apart from the claps and the clicks, is the little touches, right? When you say something important that you want to program into somebody's mind, you very lightly touch them. And what this does is activate the brain's fear center once again. So what is touching me? Am I in danger? And your brain is thinking about what is touching me? Am I in danger? Rather than focusing on the words. So if it's used by chat-up artists, yeah, who are very aware of this technique.
Chat-up artists, what's that? I don't know what that is.
You know what that is? It's guys who go into bars and pick up girls. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, these are chat-up artists. There's another name for, there's a more horrible term. I think it's called macking or something like that. You can find information about it on the internet. I'm quite sure. So what's the point? The point is the touches. So if you want the person to think about you, then what you the keywords, the key information you oh, you really love this, don't you? You see that the touch was on the word love, right? So the next time you say the word love, the person connects it to the feeling of your hand touching their body. And so you build up connections like that, yeah, through the conversation. What's
the remote? What do you need it for?
The remote's going to turn off the film, no?
Oh, they want to skip it to the funny part.
Yeah, but then it'll finish earlier. No, you have to wait. That's part of the film.
I think they wanted to rewind it.
Oh, you want to rewind it? Do you want to put it backwards or forwards, guys? No, too complicated for them. Will's not talking to us at all.
No.
No. Okay. Later then. Right. So it's about stimulating confusion and then putting the words in to say that someone, people often get confused when see, I touched you on the word confused.
Could you not do that, because I'm just going to end up being extremely confused. You don't want that.
Well, they won't know the difference, will they?
Couldn't you just go still, you know?
I just punch you in the face and put you over my shoulder.
Productive.
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 Look, you can. Okay, you've heard of the process of tapping, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what that is. It's neuro-linguistic. It's self-neuro-linguistic programming through touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say to myself.
Yes.
Productive. Like that.
That's what people do. They get up in the morning and they spend half an hour going, productive, be productive, and they tap the sense points, and they do that for 10-15 minutes every morning. And Dr. Mercola, one of the leading alternative health experts in the world, says that changed his life. He says that he spent 15 minutes every day doing that, and he said it changed his life and his health.
How do you know you're not going to just waste 15 minutes every day of your life without any results? I mean...
Well, you don't. I mean, how do you know that orange is not going to taste like a banana? Well, right? I mean, you try it, okay?
I know. It's just... It just sounds like a prank, you know? Like one of those internet pranks, like stick your tongue out and you'll see what happens.
No.
You stick your tongue out and you just feel like an idiot.
Yeah, but that's for stupid people.
Yeah, well,
that's for really dumb fuckers.
That's my point.
So.
That's my point.
That's not a point at all. You haven't actually made any point.
How do you know it's not?
How do you know a stupid person's not stupid? Well, they are stupid. That's it. I mean, what are you looking for? You're looking for something that's not there, right? If you're looking for something that's not there, you'll never find it, and you just waste your fucking time. Pointless activity. So how this works? So he goes onto the underground, and he starts talking to passengers. And he asks them where they're from, and he asks them which which station they're getting off at. He says, which station are you getting off at? Which station are you getting off at? Thinking about it now. Which station are you getting off at? Thinking about it now. Which stop are you getting off at? Thinking about it now. Which stop thinking about it now are you getting off at? Which stop thinking about it now are you getting off at?
He does that to people, and people don't just run away from him thinking he's an idiot. I mean, if somebody just spoke to me like what you just did.
It's got a whole bloody camera crew with him from the BBC.
Oh, okay.
Right, because he's filmed himself doing it, right? And what he does is, language is patterns and rhythms. Whether you like it or not, the patterns and rhythms are there. That's why music works so well in terms of programming people to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So the patterns and rhythms of the language, in fact, that's why the word abracadabra is used in magic.
Mm-hmm.
The word abracadabra is 5 syllables,
mm-hmm.
and it's a very unusual pattern. So when the musician uses it, they're causing a slight millisecond interruption in the person's thinking or the brain patterns or the rhythm of whatever's going on that allows them to do something different.
The magician.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not the musician. I think you said the musician.
Did I say musician? Musicians can use it as well.
Confused. See, confused. I was confused. That's your fault.
I want to reach out and grab you. Who did that? Was that Roger Miller? Anyway, I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
So, anyway, so he takes the 2 phrases.
Mm-hmm.
So, which stop are you getting off at?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about it now. Which stop are you getting off at? Thinking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's building the pattern in your mind, and
Mm-hmm.
I say, which stop, and your brain is already going, are you getting off at, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he switches it. He says, which stop, thinking about it now, are you getting off at? He switches the order of the words.
And?
Well, that changes the pattern in the person's mind.
And?
They forget. It's enough to make a person forget. It's enough to block that information from their conscious mind. It can be done in about 15 seconds. Anyone who doesn't believe me, you can. It's the Trains of Thought experiment by Darren Brown. You can Google it or YouTube it or do whatever. You can find it online,
Mm-hmm.
and it works very well. And so he says, "Which stop thinking about it now? Are you getting off at?" And the people are like, "I can't remember. They can't remember where they're going." So it can be done in about 15 seconds. And what's even more freaky is there are regular courses on this. And years ago, we're talking 5-6 years ago, one of my students
Mm-hmm.
took one of these courses
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted to bang in the background. He wanted to meet girls.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Bratislava,
Mm-hmm.
and he took this course
Mm-hmm.
on how to use neuro-linguistic programming to pick up girls.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the next week he went out, and he said every night he went home with a different girl.
What did he do with them?
What did he do with it? I don't know. He sketched them. Maybe he painted them. Maybe he made statues of them.
Hopefully.
Maybe he read books to them. I don't know. Maybe they surfed YouTube together. I don't know.
They surfed together. Let's just leave it at that.
And he said that this technique for him worked very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that the girls have no idea that this is going on at all.
That's horrible.
And this is going on.
That is horrible.
It's
That's
not
a horrible story.
I don't know how. Well, Jesus Christ! Well, that's beautiful. I'm just trying to be positive about it, right? That's beautiful. Did you put on your own makeup?
She drew a mustache on her face.
She drew in the black.
With a black marker.
Just one more thing to go, she says as she
She's
runs
bringing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
through here. Oh, excellent.
Of course.
Because it shouldn't be through there, should it?
Just
No, the stuff should
okay.
be
You were
everywhere.
saying? I mean, I think it
So
is
he-
horrible because it's like
Well, you can regularly every week go.
hypnosis.
It is, and the girls have no idea that this is what I'm saying about
It's like rape.
basically yes, and the girls like the next day are like thinking like, oh, I wonder, why did I do that? I'm not sure about it. right? They're all confused, and or they're just happy and just have no idea what's happened to them at all, and they think that this is just part of a natural process of whatever.
Right.
When really it's
blame it on the booze.
Well, alcohol makes the whole process slightly easier because of the fog, right? You're not thinking clearly about
confused.
Yeah, exactly. You're not thinking clearly at all about what is going on, which it could work the other way, because it could just be like not thinking at all, and the programming could not work because you require some conscious cognitive ability there. So it depends on the individual, but this is used regularly by people, predominantly men, of course, and women have no idea that it's going on. It's used in pubs, it's used in clubs, it's probably used in other places as well.
You didn't use it with me, did you?
No, I didn't use it with you, and because of my profession and working with language, I haven't used it with anybody, but I know how it works, because I'm like, how do you get someone to join your course, right? How do you persuade someone to invest money in something? There are all of these little techniques that are added together that people use. You walk into someone's office and they're like, "Oh, come in, nice to meet you, have a seat, sit down." They're doing all the touches, they're putting in the words at the right time, and the people have no idea that they're being manipulated. And it's not always, here's another point, it's not always done consciously. Sometimes people pick it up as a natural process of things, or they can pick it up from their family, they can pick it up from their parents as a habit and not know. Classic one is touching the elbow. Yeah, when you're saying to someone, "Don't worry, everything's okay." You're trying to calm someone down. You touch them on the elbow as you say "okay," and that what happens is the conscious brain focuses on the touch, but the subconscious brain picks up the "okay," and it's when done in the right way, it causes a person to calm down or to be persuaded more easily of something. Now, I've had people try to use this on me, and of course it didn't work because I knew what they were doing, and I knew how to counter it, because there are things that you can do to block it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, if you,
I had someone.
Imagine
remember.
Wait, one more thing before you say this. Like, imagine the situation of we've all been in those kinds of clubs where they're playing terrible music, and we think, why are they playing this music? The music is repetitive and so hypnotic, right? It's creating the trance-like mental state so that the guy can walk in, blah 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 blah, go through neuro-linguistic techniques, pick up the girl and take her home. That's all it exists for. And the girls have no idea. They have absolutely no idea that they're walking into a trap.
That's horrible.
Well, this is something I've got to teach our kids, right? I've got to teach the girls to be aware of this, right?
You too.
Because there are very few parents who understand that a lot of everything is manipulation. It's putting people in the position where you want them to be, not really where they themselves want to be. And if you look at things like where people are working and what people are doing in their lives, a lot of people are in positions where it's not really their choice to go in that direction or to be in that position. It's like at least 50% of my clients are in that psychological state where they can be persuaded. No,
did you say where they can't or where they can?
They can. I can see it. I don't use the techniques on them because they come to me to get the. Yeah, I just copied you. That's mirroring technique. It's a mirroring thing.
Doing my thing.
Well, that's neuro-linguistics.
Well, no, because I just lifted my foot myself.
It's actually not linguistics. It's the other neuro It's the neural body language thing, right? It's the how to make a person feel more comfortable. You copy their posture to a certain extent. You can do that, right?
You do that automatically, though, if you feel in the groove with someone.
Well, it depends on the situation, really, how it works.
What kind of pose it is, right?
Yeah, I was trying to. You know, obviously, if a person's pretending they're thank you. Right. If a person's pretending they're a chimpanzee, then it might not work so well. But you can see it in. Yeah. How do you make someone who walks into your office feel more comfortable? You copy their posture. How do you make someone who walks into an office more comfortable? You try to mirror what they're doing back to them, as long as it's not something crazy, of course. So
picking their nose or something.
Well, you know that we feel more comfortable in environments where we feel people are similar to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, that's the aim. It's to make it appear as if things are similar. So there are all these little tricks and tips and habits, and the simple lessons videos on the YouTube channel cover that. The remix that I did last night. I can't even remember what the main topic was, but it was about the illusions of not everything is what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through a couple of examples of things that happen that are used as traps and tricks for people in society and in life, and people don't even realize that the trick is happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called not everything that moves. And I was reading the title and I was thinking, what the hell was I? What does that mean? What the hell was I talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything that moves.
Okay.
And if you want more about it, go and check out the remix of Not Everything That Moves, because it shows you how people manipulate people. It explains very briefly in 5 minutes how people manipulate people to believe that everything is changing when everything is staying the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
politicians do that all the time, don't they?
Yep, it's a large part of the political game.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's what we call musical chairs. Everybody gets up and moves around and
everybody's still there.
Sits back down, but everyone's kind of still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone changes position, but you know, nothing else really happens. So yeah, there are courses on how to do this. It's taught at certain levels of business management as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
marketing or something.
It's the girls.
Girls are both in
the girls have climbed inside the beanbag, and
looks like some kind of weird birth
monster
going on.
I had a friend once who did a dance performance as a beanbag. Yeah, they climbed inside the beanbag. And they did their whole dance performance from inside the beanbag.
It's a bit crazy.
It was at
yeah, I saw that.
I believe that was London College of Dance or London School of Dance when I was in London.
That's a bit mad.
Yeah, it was great though. It was really cool. I saw it. I wasn't at the original performance, but I saw a video of the performance, and it was.
How big was the beanbag?
It was about the same size. You know, they were dancers, so they were flexible, right? So they went inside and did the whole thing as. You know, it was a beanbag doing a dance. It's kind of hard to
slightly weird. You're gonna have to
imagine.
That.
That was in.
Is it on YouTube?
It was like 20 years ago. That was before
It's probably not on YouTube, right?
I'm going to sneeze.
Well, you stop doing that, please.
You have to talk.
Okay, well, sneeze. There you go.
Why am I sneezing?
Bless you. Because it's cold.
It's not that cold. It's not that cold if you're in the sun. Like us.
Yeah, we're in the sun. I'm stretch a little bit. I need to stretch today because it's just exercise.
Tell us about the training yesterday. How did that go?
It's fine. I was a bit tired. I don't know. I didn't do very well yesterday. I felt like I didn't have the energy to do everything properly like I should. You know, like I don't know.
I don't really know what that means. I don't have the energy to do
like
it properly.
I don't know. Sometimes I felt like as if I was after a hard training. You know.
But you were before it.
But I was before it. Yes, I didn't train at all that day. Maybe that was the problem. I don't know. But, you know, imagine that you've just exercised and then somebody told you, right, come on, let's go. You'd be kind of sore and doing things like half the way because you can't really put everything into it. That's how I felt yesterday. I couldn't really put everything into it. So.
Did you prepare for the training?
Sorry?
Did you prepare for the training?
How do you prepare for a training?
You didn't prepare for it.
Well, I did a warm-up.
You prepare mentally for it.
No, I didn't prepare mentally for it.
Now Will has decided to climb into the beanbag.
And there was no music. There was no music. That was very demotivating.
No music.
I don't know if they forgot to bring music or what happened, but there wasn't any music. That was a bit shit. Not very good. A bit not very good. Yeah.
Yeah, music makes a difference, but to be honest, I know that a lot of people like the rhythmic element of that, which again is the music being used as a program. Right?
I like music. I like playing empowering kind of music when I exercise.
But you call the Rocky music empowering. Other people just think it's funny, right?
It's empowering. Getting strong now. You know, you mentioned about the
my leaning on it has colored it.
Me too, look.
Right, we can't lean on the wall then, can we?
We're just gonna have to paint it.
There is no wall. It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. You just tapped your elbows while saying wall. Tap people's elbows. Hey.
Tap 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 tap. No, but the clicking, the tapping, the loud distraction noises
that are going on
the kids
in the background.
Yeah. The confusion. Yeah, it's all of those things have some effect on people's lives. You know, if marketing didn't work, people wouldn't do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? People wouldn't pay for the TV advertisements or the radio advertisements or whatever. I don't know, the magazines, the billboards. Having stuff put, I don't know, on your car.
I have to train harder. I have to train harder every day because I'm not strong enough. Sorry, is that out of topic?
No. Please continue.
I need you to buy those things.
Well, the
things.
The pads, punch pads.
I need you to buy the punch pads so that I can punch the hell out of you. Because you can't do it with cushions.
Yeah?
No.
Oh, this is good. Will's going to be seriously.
Will, can you get out of there, please?
Yeah, you're going to be seriously hurt by your sister.
You're going to be injured and bitten and stuff.
As a beanbag. You want to turn as a beanbag, Will.
You can get a turn any other time, Will. You can get a turn any other time.
Yeah, any other time of the day, any other time of the week, any other time of the year. Yes, you can. You're not even trying. I did tell you to get out.
Will, don't be a victim.
And you didn't. I told you, get out, otherwise you'll get hurt. Yeah, don't be a victim. I like that. Yeah. Don't be a victim. That was it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Song?
It's by a metal band in London when I lived in London. Yeah. They had a couple of tracks.
I just can't imagine you in London. I'm sorry. I was like, when I lived in London, I just can't imagine that.
You can't imagine me.
You're such a small town boy. I just can't imagine you living in London.
Small town boy, Jimmy Somerville. Yes, there we go. Right. It's a great song. It's a great track. There was this metal band that I liked because they were just extreme and their big song was called All My Friends Are Dead. It's a really happy tune.
Jesus.
And the chorus was, all my friends are dead, you're not my friend, get the fuck away from me. That was the chorus. I loved it.
Right, you were a happy chappy.
Yeah, obviously there was.
Obviously didn't have anything, to
That was before I did all the that was before I did all the psycho self-analysis stuff, right? I was like, I'm normal. All my friends are dead. You're not my friend, fuck off. So and apparently this was okay. Apparently nobody said anything. And then their second big song was "Don't Be a Victim."
Well, don't.
Yeah, and I like that. It had sort of had a good message about it there, although it was brutal.
My pinky fingers hurt after yesterday. Seriously,
I've got using them too much.
I've got sore pinky finger muscles.
You don't have any muscles.
Seriously,
bone
here.
maybe.
It hurts here.
What?
It hurts here.
This is just showing the people on the internet.
And here. I think it might be from how it was clutching the things.
I don't know. I don't know what really you had to clutch at your training.
Clutch everything hard. I had to clutch the pads and I had to clutch the boxing punching gloves things.
I know you asked me to come to the training. I'm just going to leave it, right? I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be part of it. I'm just going to laugh at me.
You'd have something to laugh at for the next month, and then you could just go again.
I've got these pictures in my head, and I don't want to destroy the pictures in my head of this fantasy I have of you training perfectly. So I don't need to know anymore. It's like, okay, you just go and do your thing.
Live in your fantasy land.
I've got visions of you like doing these cartwheels and cutting these people, bang, and like cutting these people down and
punching them to the ground, kicking them
what's that guy's name? Fred, Ted,
Oliver.
I got visions of you getting on top of Oliver and giving him something.
Face, yeah, I was practicing my kicks for the first time.
That means pants in Scots, isn't it? Okay.
I was practicing my round kick for the first time yesterday. Before I only did the kneel and
the knee.
Called the knee. Before I only did the knee.
Don't do it now.
But yesterday I did the round kick that I can't do.
You don't, because you kick the cables here. Don't do it
here. Lift your leg and you just go. You basically.
You do what? You hit someone's shoulder with your leg.
Oh, you're supposed to hit their head, I think.
What?
No, I don't know what you're supposed to hit. But the point is,
I'm not flexible enough to get my leg above.
No, there's a kick that I think there's a.
Just stop playing with the tech stuff.
Yeah, so it's a physics stuff. Apparently, I watched a video about it. It's physics. The longer that it's you're working with the super long leg that you have, right?
your one super long leg.
And it's physics, right? You turn, but the end of the leg travels faster, right? Because it's the end of the leg. It's like we did that with Will. So was it lever? What was it?
The lever.
The lever?
Well, the end travels faster because it has to keep up with the
turn.
Part. Yeah,
so basically, you turn your whole hips, and the end of your leg just kills
the people
other
are out
person.
there. Okay,
Sorry.
You're talking to the wall.
And your shin just kills the other person because you go so fast.
I bet that hurts your shin, though.
Well. You're supposed
shinning somebody hurts.
Well, yes, but the thing is that the Muay Thai boxers condition their body.
So they don't feel anything at all.
So the more they hit it, the less they bruise and the less they feel.
So until they reach perfection, at which point they don't feel anything at all.
Yeah, exactly. So you get bruises for 2 years or 3 or 4 or 5 or I don't know how long it takes. And then you stop getting bruises and you don't feel that much pain.
Yeah, until you fight someone who's better than you, and then you end up in hospital or something
I
for 6 months.
I watched a comparison of, traditional boxing and Muay Thai boxing. And
Well, you can't compare them.
basically they said that in traditional boxing you kind of dodge, you're trying to dodge the punches, and they said that Muay Thai boxers just take it. They just get hit.
Yeah, well, some of them, get seriously injured. So I mean, you can't just. I mean, every time you step into the Muay Thai ring,
Of course you could get injured.
You could die.
Well,
Seriously,
you
you
could
get brain
die.
damage.
You could die stepping in any ring. I mean, other than karate, because that's not really fighting very much, is it?
I don't know. I think you've just offended everybody who does karate in the world. Well, karate is not really fighting, is it? It's more like playing with Lego.
It's more like dancing.
That's judo, isn't it? Judo more like dancing.
Judo's more like hugging,
That's wrestling.
cuddling.
You've got them all wrong.
Judo is cuddling. Karate is dancing. Muay Thai is fighting.
Muay Thai is people who, I reckon half the people who did it would be in prison if they couldn't do it.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
But what about boxing? I mean,
What about boxing?
that's quite brutal as well, no?
Yes, exactly. Okay. In some respects, it's quite practical.
Taekwondo is quite brutal as well. But they have all these, they have all the padding
Well,
when they spar. They put like head padding and body padding and everything padding. Leg padding.
in what?
No, Taekwondo. No?
I guess it depends on where you study and
Probably
who your
not.
teacher
Probably
is.
not during the competitions, but
I've
seen
they
a
probably
lot
do
of
it. They
padding.
probably got it here. Well, they do it here. I imagine in Asia
Korea.
or somewhere
it's
that
Korean.
it's
so
probably a
in
bit
Korea.
more brutal there. It's much more of a way of life thing for people there. It's more of a sort of recreational activity here. So people's perspectives on these things
Mm.
are definitely quite different. So the training was good.
Yes, it was good. It was me who wasn't good.
Uh,
I need a lot of cardio because I was just getting out of my breath all the time. We started by just like, okay, well, do 100 round kicks, 200 skips on the skipping rope, and
Skipping is brutal.
yes, and 200 boxes.
I
in the
overdid
bag,
it
and
on
that
the
was-
skipping. I over practiced the skipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I need to do more skipping because I'm
Uh-huh.
not very good at it.
Yeah.
So I was practicing the skipping.
And then you peed yourself.
No, that I couldn't walk for about 3 days because my calf muscles refused to do whatever it is muscles do. They just
Well, my
refused
calf
to
muscles
do
were
it.
okay, but I just couldn't breathe.
I couldn't go up or down steps.
I would go like
to pull
50,
myself up.
and after 50, I'd go stitch, right? And then I would be like, okay, let's
No,
swap.
you get 4 skipping ropes and go out with the kids and just skip. You not do that? Or is that just too practical? You don't even need skipping ropes.
If I did
just rope.
everything you suggested to me, like
You'd be super fit.
I would eat about 50 hours in a day. Right?
You would eat.
I would
Okay,
need
sorry.
about 50 hours in a day. He's like, why don't you just do this every day? Why don't you just do that every day? I'm like, why don't you just climb the Eiffel Tower and jump off it?
Okay. Well, I could. The alternative would be saying nothing, right?
I know.
Which would be worse.
I
probably.
could skip. I could definitely skip with the kids outside. Right? Christmas
Yeah.
present. There you go. 4 skipping ropes.
Yeah, and 3 meters of snow.
Yeah.
Just to make it even more complicated.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be fun. Yeah, and that was just warm up, right? So I did like 50 skips, and we were in pairs,
Mhm.
So while I was skipping, the other person was kicking the bag, and then we swapped.
That was your warm up.
I was like, I'm dying, and it was just the warm up, right? So
Why don't you just go out for a jog for half an hour each day?
Yeah.
Why don't you just Get up earlier. Why don't you just use the exercise bike we have through there?
Well, that's what I was going to do today.
But excuses. No, first then the kids got up, and then I had to do the washing, and then I had to make lunch, and those are not excuses. I get it. I get it.
I'm still going to do it, probably while your students are here. What? Did that disturb you?
Not as much as it's going to disturb them.
Would the sounds disturb you?
Yes. I imagine they would, as with the vomiting.
That's what it would sound like after about 10 minutes on the bike. I don't know how people can do 30 minutes. I do 10 minutes, and I have to have a break in between 5 and 5.
You know, slow progress is better than no progress. So there we go.
Anyway, yeah, we did a lot of kicking and punching yesterday. It was good.
There's something's reflecting something. Oh, the sun. Right. Okay. Oh, the lamps.
Yeah, the lamps.
As I said at the beginning, we need to do something else out there. To hang out more lamps and light the candles in there. They look nice.
Why don't we put a string, like from one end to the end, and hang lamps on the string? Make a garland.
Because I don't know.
It would look like Chinese. It would look like a Chinese thing, right?
You have to draw it for me. I find it very hard to imagine that in my mind. I can't see the same thing that you're talking about. I can see something in my head, but it doesn't look good. So that's probably not what you're talking about.
No. Yeah. We're gonna have to think about Christmas decorations and Christmas tree and stuff like that. So.
Hallmark Christmas season starts this weekend. Countdown to Christmas.
Exactly.
Already.
Well, I have to start thinking about it now because we don't have any Christmas decorations because of how we moved abroad.
That's great. We can start from scratch. I love that idea.
And that's a great idea.
Oh, no, we do. We've got Christmas lights in one of the boxes.
No, do we?
I thought we did. Maybe we don't.
I don't know. You packed the boxes, your boxes, right? So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that I found some Christmas lights, but that might have just been a wild dream that I had. I dreamt that I was going through the boxes and found Christmas lights.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a tree somewhere.
Casting a spell on me.
What kind of tree are we gonna get?
A tree?
You gonna get a live tree or a
we have to chase
plastic tree? Or are we gonna buy a tree in a container, like a growing tree? Or
just wait till after Christmas until other people throw out their trees and get them in.
Yeah, something like that.
No.
I mean, we have to
nice
make.
trees over there.
We don't have any ornaments. We have to make ornaments with the kids, so we better start now because it's going to take a while.
It's great. Well, it's great that we don't have anything because then we can have whatever we want to have, and we're not stuck with.
We don't want to have
stupid stuff from last year.
But you can have. Oh, never mind.
Will invented a game with 2 table tennis bats.
Rackets, yeah.
And they're not rackets, they're bats. Or paddles. And a balloon, which just about landed here.
It's called...
what did you call it, Will? Balloon tennis, I think you called it.
Balloonist.
No, that's a place in Scotland, I'm pretty sure. Right. No, but it's the bat's really close to the hand, which is cool. And the balloon stays in the air, which is really cool. Doesn't stop general madness from happening. No, right.
I love how kids are mad.
Well,
how our kids are mad.
Yeah, well, going to the toilet becomes, I'm going to turn into a zombie time.
I was thinking today, because I was having a little bit of self-reflection time in the morning while everything was quiet for a little while.
It was about 5 seconds.
Yes. Right. And I was trying to analyze, I've got this deeply ingrained fear.
Of elephants?
No. Of just
clouds.
Public anything. Just being in the public.
Public toilets.
Just anybody seeing. No,
I don't mean fear of public toilets.
By doing, I'm scared to do something because you've got that fear that people are going to judge you,
especially in public toilets,
laugh at you, think that you are a fraud or that you don't know anything, and
What?
you know,
What?
you
All,
kind
all
of-
of these irrational fears that you have.
all of these fears. Yes, and I'm
Of doing
thinking,
things in public. Why? I mean, how do you get to the shops?
not
public, how do you
that,
get to-
not
what?
that. That's not putting yourself out. I'm talking about putting yourself out there. I'm
I'm
talking
just
about
talking about standing in front
doing-
of a group of people.
doing
Right.
live videos, for example. You know, just
You don't have a fear of doing
speaking.
this though, because I mean, there's look, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people have watched you, heard you, or seen you on the internet, right?
Yes,
And that doesn't bother you.
it's somehow different when I do it with you because the responsibility is kind of, you know, shared. Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference between doing something yourself and doing something with somebody else.
Yes, there is a big difference. I'm thinking, you know, I was just sitting and I was like, okay, well, I would like to write this book, okay? And I'm thinking, and then all these fears come like, what do I know about it, right? What if I write this thing and somebody challenges me and they say everything is wrong? What if somebody else laughs at it and thinks it's stupid, right?
You know that none of those voices are your voice. You know that.
I do know that, but you didn't wait for my point. So I was going through this self-reflection, right? Like, yeah.
She herself.
Yeah, for the first time ever, she wiped her butt herself and flushed the toilet.
Or do you think she just?
Hopefully.
Do you think she just jumped off and?
No, she wouldn't do that.
Did she wipe it? Yeah, for the first time ever.
Wow, what
Live
a
on
big
the
girl!
podcast.
What a big girl!
Oh,
Good job.
She is bigger
Yeah,
physically.
I told you, she's taller.
Will,
Her legs
can
are
you
grown.
relax
Anyway, so
a
I was
little bit?
thinking about this, and then I was thinking, how much school has to do with that fear? Probably a lot, because you are constantly under observation and you're constantly being judged by 30 people.
Well, that's the lesson of school, isn't it? I mean, that's
You
what we're
cannot
teaching the
stick
kids.
out, and if you stick out, you're banged down, right? You're ridiculed, you're laughed at, you're being called stupid.
Yep.
Every time. And I don't know how those people who stick out and who always stuck out found the...
Hey,
Zorinka, can you stop
Sorry.
banging the floor, please,
people live
love?
downstairs, darling.
You know, and you always had those... I mean, I had a friend, okay, who was herself. Okay, leave it. Who was herself all the time. And sometimes it was extremely awkward. And sometimes I felt embarrassed that my friend is being really awkward, right? Which is
By
kinda
awkward,
horrible.
you mean just being themselves?
Just being herself, just doing weird stuff, but being herself, and she was quite happy being herself. And she was bullied a lot because of it, you know, by other people. But it kind of, she's really mentally strong, and just kind of bounced off of her. And sometimes she would get upset because of it, but she never stopped being herself, you know. And to a certain extent, to me, it almost seemed unintelligent, right? To a certain extent, I would think she should be more clever about this and not do this, you know, in public, because she's shooting herself in the foot. But on the other hand, when I look at it now, I perceive it as a personal strength.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it kind of makes you think, what is it? What is it that makes some people resilient and some people so vulnerable?
It's the home environment. I mean, it's children are not, parents are not preparing their children for the world. They've got this hands-off approach. They leave it to experts in schools to do all of the important things, but that doesn't work because the experts don't love your kids.
Yeah, her parents were always very encouraging. I always liked to go and visit her at home because her mom was really nice. She was always very encouraging. She was also strict, you know, when it came to some things.
You know the Sting song, Englishman in New York?
Yeah.
Be yourself,
no matter
what they say.
Yeah, it's easy to say that.
Yeah, but, you know, it's there in the song, right? I mean, it's,
Yes. And
Audio Slave have the to be yourself is all that all that you
I
can
suppose,
do or
yeah,
be
I
or
suppose
whatever, so.
acceptance. I suppose parental acceptance is a huge factor. You know, if your parents accept you for who you are and cherish you for who you are, then that might have something to do with it.
Yeah,
Right?
social anxiety is a fear of just being yourself. Where does that come from? It comes from
The fear of not being accepted.
being punished for being different,
Yeah.
which is sort of what the system leans towards, really.
It's terrible, though. It's terrible. It keeps people passive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Fear keeps you passive. That's what I have to fight with the passiveness.
Well, fight with it then. You know, when you go to your training,
That's a good idea.
fight with it, right?
And
I told you the
and I was thinking,
wheels.
yeah, I know. And I was thinking how clever, how lucky kids are for not having to do that, not having to go to school and be in front of all these people and be judged, because it's not that I want to shield them from reality, right? It's just something that when it comes later in life, it's not a bad thing, because they will have had time to be themselves.
It's where the goofy kids.
You know?
It's where the goofy kids have the advantage. Because they're not that worried, right? Because they're just goofy, you know.
Goofy, you mean funny?
Yeah, or goofy can also mean different, but different in a sort of not worried about the consequences kind of way.
Yeah, people often say that homeschooled kids are a bit weird because they are not used to what's the word? Conforming to the social pressures. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. And I think that's great. That's my friend. You know, when somebody tells me that homeschoolers are a bit weird, that's when I imagine that friend of mine, that she was a bit like that. You know, always a bit.
Yeah, school tends to lose the individual, tends to lose the self within the group, but the greatest power that anyone has is in their own individuality. So it's really worth understanding that. If people want more information about that, I recommend reading the work of John Rappaport on the internet. You notice that I post a lot of his work, which is not available anywhere else, because it's only me who picks up the newsletter and screenshots it and puts it on my Facebook page. Nobody else on the planet does it. And it's all about how the individual makes differences. And it's great. He writes about it every single day, the difference between the individual and the group. And it's and the other things like the power of the human imagination. And what else was he writing about recently? Lot of stuff. About how to stay free, basically. About how to stay free, which is key. So I'm going to do the conclusion.
Do it,
then okay, right.
Yeah,
so we got.
I'm just
with the classical music
going on in the background.
Yes, which
which means
success in one sense. We will say thank you very much for tuning in. If you want more information, www.nsa-slovakia.com, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube and Facebook. I also have the English Masterclass online, and your blog is
21centurymom.com.
Yeah, you can also pick up our parenting newsletter, which comes out every weekend, hopefully.
Yes. And yes, I have accumulated all the amazing parenting videos on one page on my blog as well, so you can find them all there with links to them.
Yeah, which is organized. A nice kind of little piece of content. And we're up to I think this is 48 or 49. Where are we in terms of podcasts?
I don't know.
I don't even know how many we've done.
I don't know.
I think this could be 48, could be 49. This is 49, and the next one's 50.
Oh, are we going to have a party?
I think we should have a party and celebrate getting to 50.
Are we going to drink milk?
I don't know. We could prepare.
I can't drink milk. It gives me spots.
Healthy. Welcome to the Healthy Parenting Podcast.
I can drink mineral water.
We can't just have a party and drink water.
Why not? Can we drink juice?
We'll think of something. If anybody's got any ideas about how we could celebrate.
Virgin mojitos. Virgin Bloody Marys, which is basically just a tomato juice with Tabasco.
No alcohol. No alcohol. Alcohol is dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. That's what virgin means.
Right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. It's been fun, and we'll be back again very soon. Wherever you are, have a wonderful day. And if you've got any questions that you'd like us to answer, send them to us, and we'll make a video for you, just for you. Okay, that's it. Do the
See ya.
Wave bye bye.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, hand over your face again. Sorry.